Hello, everybody. And now to discuss one of my most controversial topics why women should practice submitting to all men. Now, women have all these excuses in their heads about why they shouldn't submit to almost any man and, don't have to submit it, basically for anything. And, they'll submit when they meet their husband you know no, you're not going to, because you're not going to know how to submit. That's the problem. um Lots of these issues around submission, it's really fascinating to me. There's so much fear, there's so much justification. um and I could talk about the subject for a day, just on this. So I want to piece together a few really important thoughts on this idea of submitting to all men. So first of all, let's turn this whole idea around and let's talk about men, for example, for a moment. So when I talk to men, right, when I teach men in our academy program and outside of our academy program, is that men should be devotional and leading all women, right? Not just their wife, right? Not just their girlfriend, but all women. Now, there's a lot of aspects to leading, right? Opening a door for a woman is leading, right? Protecting women is leading. Correcting women when they're being disrespectful is leading, right? Setting boundaries is leading. Um, you know, Pretty much just about anything is a form of leadership. And why, like, wouldn't it be insane if I said, like, man, don't give a shit about women's feelings. Don't consider their needs or feelings unless she's your wife, or unless you've been dating her for a while. Wouldn't that be really weird? Like, wouldn't that be insane? Yeah, that would be insane. And it would sound especially insane to any man who already does have his instincts fully online and does feel devotion to women, right? Like, I can't shut that off. I have to be leading women. I love women and I don't want them to suffer. I don't want them to cause their own suffering. I also don't want them to disrespect me, right? I don't want to be led by them. I don't want to feel resistance from women. So I'm going to be leading women no matter what, because I care, both about women and I care about myself. I care about my own self-respect. So it doesn't matter if it's my wife, doesn't matter if it's my daughter, when she's older and actually understands what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter if it is a female friend, doesn't matter if it's my mother, doesn't matter if it's my mother-in-law. Doesn't matter if it's my clients, doesn't matter if it's women on Facebook. I am going to be leading women, and I am going to be doing so with devotion. Period. Now, so if I was telling men, just don't lead women unless they're your girlfriend, your wife. Don't consider their feelings. Don't consider your needs. Just take yours. Don't open doors for women. Uh, you know, just don't be looking out for them in any way. I think everybody would really clearly see that would be kind of messed up advice, right? Especially if we're wanting to build a better, healthier world. Well, guess what? It's the same thing for submission, right? This idea that women shouldn't be submitting to men in general, or shouldn't be able to. Now, when I say submission, let's briefly go into this, because there can be a lot of misunderstanding. Oh, it means that if a man's leading you to have sex and you don't like him, you should submit to him because you said submit to all men. No, don't be ridiculous, right? And this is this is what women do when they have all these preconceived beliefs about submission or about anything that I talk about. They're already closed, right? They're already not receptive to trying to understand. They are trying to, teach and accuse and blame, and oh my God, I can't believe you said that. No, it's not what I'm telling women to do. Okay, that would be insane and dangerous, on so many levels, right? When we're talking about healthy submission, healthy submission, that's so much more than just following a man without questioning, without having any discernment, um, just going along and letting them take you into dark alleys and whatever, right? All kinds of crazy examples I could come up with. I'm not talking about that. When a woman is in her feminine and she is submitting, right, to not just a man, but to the universe, to God, to whatever you want to call it. She is in flow. She is letting go of control. And, right, a healthy woman is fully in touch with her feelings, right? And her feelings tell her a lot of important stuff. It's not just like she's a, it's a bunch of crazy stuff that doesn't matter. Her feelings are signaling so many important things to her all the time. And so when a man is leading her, she may feel anxious, she may feel anger because of something that a man tells her to do, leads her to do, sad, all kinds of things. Now that might be because of her own wounding, and it might be because there's actually something wrong in the man's leadership, right? And ultimately a woman is going to need to learn how to discern the difference, right? Otherwise she can be taken advantage of, used. I would never want that for a woman. um but ultimately that's where, like, she needs to be able to express her feelings, and that's where you start to see whether the man is someone that she should continue to submit to, right? Because if he's not able to hold space for those feelings, really understand what's going on and help with whatever the situation is, right? Help her feel safe, give her reassurance, take accountability if he made a mistake, whatever it is, right? If he's not able to do that, and uh, and so the woman's still feeling like shit, and then or anxious or whatever, and then she continues to submit because of people pleasing, because she's fawning, because she's afraid of abandonment, because of whatever. Okay, so now that's not healthy submission, and I would never teach that to any woman in a million years, right? I'm only, when I use the word submission, I'm talking about something very specific, and it's about a woman who's fully connected to her feelings and her needs and everything, but she's always in that submissive state, right? Where she's not trying to control anything. She's just being honest and open with what she needs, what she feels, not leading in any way, not controlling in any way. And, letting the man decide what to do. And if he proves to her that he's not safe to lead her, right, for whatever reason, then she flows away, right? So she's not going to step into her masculine and start setting all these boundaries unless it's a situation where literally she can't fully get away from him, like an ex who's sharing a partner or something like that. There's some leeway in that. It's not totally black and white, but it's pretty close to black and white. Yeah, so that's healthy submission, right? Otherwise, if you're not able to stay in a submissive state with a man, or you're at least not willing to try your best, then you're disrespecting him. And you're also just, causing harm to yourself, because it doesn't feel good to be in your masculine in any kind of way. Women have all these justifications for that. And yeah, so that's what I'm talking about when it comes to submission. So if you're a woman, this is one of the most common excuses. Like, I will submit to a man who's like really dominant. I'm not going to submit to anyone else. Honey, he's not coming for you. He is not coming for you. Or if he does come for you, you're going to push him away, or he's just going to get bored of you. Why? Because that man, that dominant man, he is looking for a radiant, feminine woman who knows how to be fully submissive. And a woman who only knows how to be submissive with a really dominant man, that's just a masculinized woman who, if a man is dominant enough, is polarized enough, his energy alone can polarize her into her feminine. But she's not feminine. Her on her own, that woman on her own is not feminine. She's masculine and capable of being polarized into her feminine. That's it, right? So imagine if men were walking around being like, oh, I'm just going to be super feminine all day, and then, I'm waiting for my super feminine, like even more feminine woman than me, who's going to polarize me into my masculine. Then I'm going to lead and I'm going to devote to her. Wouldn't that be insane? Again, wouldn't that be insane? Of course it would be insane. That is what it sounds like to me and any kind of truly dominant masculine man when a woman says, I will only submit to a really masculine man, because they're not coming. They're not coming if that is your mindset, right? My mindset is as a man, I want to be so polarized that I can polarize any woman into her feminine. I'm going to lead every woman, even if they're really masculinized. And I'm going to continue leading until a woman demonstrates to me that she has no interest in being respectful, no interest in submitting to my leadership, no interest in receiving my gifts. And then, well, if it's online, I'm hitting that block button. And if it's offline, I'm going to leave the situation and not interact with her. I have no interest. It's a waste of my energy as a man. And it's the same thing, or should be the same thing, should be the same mindset, the same belief for a woman, right? Because ultimately, it's so much more than, about what the man needs. It's really about what you need as a woman, even if you don't realize you need it. You hurt yourself when you are in that masculine energy and you can't really escape it because you're relying on someone else to polarize you, right? This is for you, right? Submission, there's nothing dirty about it. There's nothing wrong with being able to submit to all men. Look, I teach women how to submit to their children, right? Like especially their male children, and especially when they're teenagers, but even much younger than that, even to a baby, right? Like if we're talking about submission, if you really want to understand the energetics of it, uh, not like it's a little bit different, but for the most part, the baby is leading the woman, right? But with really basic leadership, with cues, and the woman is just submitting. The mother is just submitting to basically be directed by the baby, right? It's a really primitive way of explaining it, but that's really what's happening. That's why, or a big part of why, women are instinctually programmed to be feminine. Now, there's another sexual aspect, procreating reason for why that is too, but the mothering part is a really big part of it. The nurturing part in that way is a really big part of it. So if a mother can submit to a baby, then why not like any man who has an interest in stepping up and considering her feelings and needs? I really think about that one. Really think about that one. The reason, one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest lies, why women, I guess there's two, okay. Other than feminism, where women believe like don't submit to anyone and, submission is terrible and dirty and you should boss your man around and men are terrible. Other than that, if you're looking at more of the spiritual community that's making more sense than feminism, but not a lot more sense, but some more sense. Obviously, the spiritual community is very broad and there's good parts and less good parts. But a really big part of it is this idea of masculinized women who think that they are feminine, teaching women how to be feminine, but they're actually teaching them how to be masculine because they don't know how to be feminine. And one of the ideas is that, you should only submit to a super masculine man. And otherwise, you're going to just, well, they don't say it this way, but be in your masculine all the time. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And if you take that kind of advice, you're really setting your love life up for a lot of unhappiness. Not just your love life, but just your life in general. Because then you have to walk around in your masculine, and you might not even know that you're in your masculine because you don't really know the difference. Just don't know the difference. Doesn't have to be this way, but you need to look at yourself really honestly and see just how much, how many excuses you are making for truly doing this work, right? I don't make any excuses as a man. I don't make the excuse that, I'm only going to lead when a woman's really feminine. No, because that's nonsense. It's nonsense. I'm going to lead no matter what. I'm going to devote no matter what. As long as someone's in my life in any way. Because I'm instinctually programmed that way. It's that simple. Why would it be any different for a woman? It's not. It's not. And once you understand healthy submission, once you really understand it, once you've really experienced it, once you really start to see the fruits of it, there's no going back. It's just your lifestyle now. It's just the way that you operate in the world. It's just the way that you operate in the world. And if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, that sounds amazing, but how the hell do I get there? Right? I try to let go and everything. Listen, the key, the key here is communication. If you don't know how to communicate as a woman in a healthy way, you will never be able to submit to a man, to men, to anyone in a healthy way. Why? Because you won't be able to communicate what you need, right? When a man's leading and your need isn't being met. You're not going to be able to express your feelings because when a man triggers anxiety or anger or whatever in you, you're not going to know how to do any of those things. So you'll either stay silent or you'll communicate in a masculine way. And either way, it's not going to inspire devotion and it's not going to attract the devoted kind of man that you want. And your love life is ultimately going to once again suffer. Communication is the key. It's the key to communicate so that a man knows how to lead better. And it's the key to communicate your self-worth so that a man is really inspired to lead better. And it's the key to actually energetically shifting yourself to, if you have low self-worth, to fully find your self-worth as a woman. It is the energetic key to shifting into your feminine energy at all times. Right? Otherwise, it's like, yeah, you can let go and not control anything, but you're just going to be a floppy doormat that gets taken advantage of, right? The communication is a non-negotiable. I don't want any woman to start, becoming submissive and then getting hurt because of it, because they don't understand how to effectively communicate and always honor their heart, always get their needs met, always having their feelings considered. It's non-negotiable. And that's a lot more complicated than women realize, how to truly communicate from a feminine place to get all their needs and desires and met and their feelings heard and everything. But that's what we teach in our masterclass. So really briefly, we have a 2-hour masterclass, Mark Benet and I, where we will teach you all about this masculine and feminine communication because it is the key to be able to submit successfully to a man, to men, where your needs are going to get met, right? Where you're going to be communicating self-worth. There's no other way other than feminine communication. Nonviolent communication, anything else that is out there, it's not going to work because it's not appealing to a man's masculine instincts. It's not going to be inspiring him into devotion. It's all just head stuff. Feminine communication is what's going to shift this for you. So if you want to be in know how to be in a healthy relationship with a man who is devotional to you, where you can feel safe to let go, to submit, to not have any control over anything and just receive all of a man's gifts, all of his leadership, all of his direction, all of his care, then you need feminine communication. And that's what you're going to learn in our masterclass. It's $47, super affordable. We made it super affordable so that literally anyone who wants to do this, you got no excuses. You can find $47. Don't make excuses. Type in "I want in" below, and I will send you a private message and with the link, and then you can book. It's on the 18th, June 18th, 19th for Australians. And it's the first big step, or the next big step anyway, to really changing your love life, to opening up a new world for you. Even if you've read my books, even if you've been in my free group for months or a year or more than a year, it's a huge step that's really going to open your eyes. We're going to actually do real role plays, right? Role plays of what this masculine feminine communication looks like, what healthy leadership submission looks like. Can't get that in a book. Can't get that from posts. Can't even get that from me talking about it on video. It's totally different when it's role played, when you actually see it, when you hear it, when you feel the energy. So type in I want in below and I will reach out to you and let's make this happen for you.